Hello YouTube denizens, David Storm here with Picklocks.com, and today we are going to try to shed some light on these pesky little things right here known as spool pins. Now what I'm going to show you will work for both spool pins and mushroom pins. They're not much different, just one has a bit of a mushroom looking cap to it and then a bottom that is just like the rim on this. This particular one is most common and it is called a spool pin, and the reason they call it that I know of is because it looks like a spool of thread with all the thread removed. So you have a top and a bottom rim and then a smaller cylinder in between. So let's take a look at what this does in the lock and how we can defeat it. So here we see it through a side view, and you can see we have two spool pins, one here in the top chambers, normal key pins, and a normal key pin and a normal driver pin. So what we're going to do is go in and we'll get this one is not binding. This one, however, is binding. Now when we lift this up to the shear line, you will see a huge movement in the plug because both of these have now dropped into, you can see them cantered away from us, and they've dropped into their false set. So we'll see which one binds. They'll both bind, but one will bind a little more than another. So we can get this one, you can see it rotating the plug back. If you watch over here, you can watch this area right here and you can see the movement of the plug. So you can rewind this, or not rewind it, but you can take a look at it, back it up, take a look at it again. But watch the movement. See the big movement over here, and then as I start to apply upward pressure on this spool pin, you'll notice it has to rotate back the other direction to allow it to right itself. There we are. And now I can just go ahead and pick the last pin, the center pin, because it keeps dropping each time that I reset the spool pins. And there we are, we have it picked. So that's how you have to work with those spool pins to defeat them. Now let's take a look at a front view. Okay, here we can see the top pin is a spool pin. You can see the bottom pin is a normal key pin, and our tension wrench is pretty much horizontal at this point. When we pick one of the other pins in here that allows this to drop into the false set, you will feel a big movement like that on your tension tool. You'll think you got it, as a matter of fact. A lot of people, like I certainly in the beginning, when I felt that turn, I thought, oh, I got it. Open, I have it picked. But then it would lock into place, and when I didn't understand what I was dealing with, I had no idea how to get past this. It looks like this. And then what we have to do is get in there and bring this pin back up, and as we do that and apply pressure here, it rights that spool pin has to right itself, has to come back to center, which means that the tension wrench has to come back to horizontal, and then we can bypass it. So that is how the spool pin operates inside the chambers. So that is my video on spool pins. I hope you enjoyed it. If this helped you, please hit that like button and Don't forget to subscribe for future content. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. And for Picklocks.com, I'm David Storm.